Today on Seymour Stories, we're back in Semmes, Alabama. In today's episode, we'll show you just how much luxury you can get in an affordable home. Then we'll follow that up with a bite, buy, and brag for the community. And finally, we learn about a church's legacy that has lasted well over 100 years in serving and impacting Semmes. It's time to get started and see more. Welcome to Seymour Stories, a show where students cover the stories that matter to a community. I'm Michaela Johnson.
And I'm Emily Miners, and we are so excited for you to experience your stories. We would like to start off with a huge thank you to everyone who watched our first live show. Our team had an incredible experience, and not to mention, that release fell on a substantial day, as you were crowned Miss UM at the University of Mobile.
I sure was, girl. It was a crazy night, but I'm blessed and so grateful for the opportunities that I get to do now, and I'm super excited for what the future holds. Speaking of excited, we are excited for this episode. So many great stories to share, but before we jump in, let's take a look back to what happened since our last episode with what we call the 5-minute follow-up. The 5-minute follow-up is where we discuss events and happenings since our last show. There were many exciting events that took place since you last tuned in.
Let's start with the Fall Festival that took place on October 23rd. What a great turnout. There were costume contests, pop-up shops, petting zoos, and a 6-foot dog in a fire suit. Another great fall event that happened was the Erie Acres Haunted Hayride. As you can see here, it was a quite spooky event.
On Friday, November 11th, Semmes also celebrated Veterans Day with a special event where the mayor, along with a few guests, spoke to commemorate those who served in our military.
Speaking of the city, on November 9th, Semmes swore in a new group of 6 police officers. The Semmes Police Department was formed only in 2019 and is still growing. As you can see here, the mayor and the chief are swearing in these new officers.
Semmes is also actively looking for officers, so if you're interested in law enforcement in the Semmes area, you can visit City Hall located at 7875 Moffett Road, Semmes, Alabama, and pick up an application. That does it for our 5-minute follow-up. Do you have a noteworthy community event coming up? Be sure to find us on Facebook at Watch Seymour and let us know. Our first story explores the housing market. It's no secret in South Alabama that affordable homes can be rare to find.
Especially when considering a purchase that is both of quality and financially feasible. Our team met with Sean Wilson, manager of Mobile Regional Homes, to tour their options and dispel a few common myths about the homes they offer.
According to Freddie Mac, there are several myths related to manufactured housing, and today we are going to examine 5 of those myths. Now, first of all, just who is Freddie Mac, and why are they a reliable source? Well, Freddie Mac is an alternative name for the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation. In 1970, Congress created Freddie Mac to support the U.S. housing finance system and to help ensure a reliable and affordable supply of mortgage funds across the country. This means Freddie Mac is the standard for the consumer in determining what is true and false. And while this information is reliable, we decided to visit Regional Homes in Semmes, Alabama to address these myths. We met with manager Sean Wilson, and oddly enough, he began to unpack each myth without us even having to ask. Myth number 1.
They're the same as tiny homes, trailers, and mobile homes.
So this home that we're in right now, how many square feet is it exactly?
This house is a little over 2,200 square feet, right? So 4 bedrooms and I believe 2 baths. It does come with an option for a 3rd bathroom.
Nice. Oh, wow, that is huge. I love it. There's so much space. It could hold all of my shoes. This is just so crazy to me with the look of this space and just the size of this closet to be in such an affordable home. Like, I would feel like this would be in only a luxury house instead of one that you could actually take down the road. It's beautiful.
Well said.
So how many square feet is in this house?
It's approximately the same size, a little over 2,100 square feet.
Wow.
And it is also a 4 bedroom with an option for a 5th bedroom.
This is where I keep all of my snacks.
That's right. Forget the shoes, we got snacks.
Snacks.
There are models that fit just about everybody's budget and what they need as far as square footage goes. So again, we're able to go and look at multiple homes when you shop here and see what the houses look like and make sure it's going to fit you. That's a great option to have where you can come and see. You can sit down over there with a bag of popcorn if you want to, and we'll get the TV out and the remote out and really get comfortable. And then find out if that kitchen fits you, if that living room fits you, if that master bedroom fits you. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy doing this.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Sign me up. Look at the tub. Is that that's a shower? No way. Yes way. That's huge.
Fact, these homes are not tiny and they must meet governmental codes and standards. They might be mobile, but that term only qualifies due to the transportation of the home. Myth number 2.
They're unattractive and they have limited design options.
So when it comes to making these houses and, like shipping them off, is there differences in like the layouts that people can request? Or?
Great question. So many people that build homes on site work off of just a blueprint, and that's it. They'll just get a floor plan. They may order it or go to a home builder and pick it out, and they never get to touch it. They never get to see it, really feel what size the bedrooms are. One of the beauties about what we do is we have these homes, these models set up for people to come in and view. And you can come in this house right here and go through the home, get a feel for the home, and get to make changes to the home. So depending on the manufacturer, because we have different manufacturers that have different styles and different options, right? And this company here would offer several different countertops you could choose from. Of course, wall colors, cabinet colors, tile backsplash, even down to the appliances and the flooring. The options are really broad. And again, because not a lot of people get out and look at manufactured housing because there's a mindset that they've been a certain way forever, don't realize that these changes have occurred and that the options are there that they can choose from. So lighting, plumbing, fixtures, everything in here again, just like a site-built home. You can see an option here where you have a wood style or barn style countertop here, and then a marble granite look over here. Appliances, endless options when it comes to appliances, and again, cabinetry, abundant.
Even though it's the same square footage, it just feels bigger because the layout's different, and I love that.
Sure.
Fact, manufactured homes are modern, energy efficient, and they're comparable to site-built homes. Myth number 3.
They are poorly constructed and unsafe.
That right there is about 1,500 square feet of house. So what's amazing about it, and there's a lot of undertone of manufactured housing not being built as well as a site-built home, right? I mean, people kind of think that a lot, but that can travel 60, 70 miles an hour down the highway and stay together. and come to you 99% built. So the only thing that's left is having the house put together on site, and then we do all kinds of trim work and then treat it just like a house after that, a site-built home. They have to be extremely well built to go through what they go through.
Fact: manufactured homes are built entirely in a factory throughout the construction process on a permanent, non-removable steel chassis, and they must meet or exceed the Manufactured Home Construction and Safety Standards Act of 1974. And they are quality controlled and inspected per HUD standards for design and construction, strength and durability, transportability, fire resistance, heating, plumbing, air conditioning, thermal and electrical systems, and even overall home quality. Myth number 4.
They're more vulnerable to storm, hurricane, and tornado damages.
With everything that we've gone through as a country, COVID, hurricanes, weather, shortages in material, manufactured housing has been able to step up because we have an assembly line. So the house is built on an assembly line, and it's built in a controlled environment. So rather than being built outside, like site-built houses are, where it might get rained on, where it might go through a lot of different weather changes, this is built inside of a building in a controlled environment by large crews of people.
Fact: having the HUD seal of approval ensures that a manufactured home meets standards for roof load, wind resistance, thermal efficiency, safety, and durability, including wind resistance in areas prone to hurricane-force winds. According to the Manufactured Housing Institute and an article produced by the New York Times, these standards were tested in Florida during hurricane season and have stood the test of time. Proper installation and anchoring of the home is a key element in how a manufactured home will perform in severe weather situations. In 2017, when Hurricane Irma hit Florida, a majority of manufactured homes were battered but left largely intact, just like the site-built homes. Myth number 5.
They're so much more affordable because they're made with lower quality materials.
So one of the differences between old school and today is, and it's the major difference that we see, is finished sheetrock houses. So this is all finished sheetrock. Of course, you've got things like the shiplap walls, real popular right now. Everything inside here you can find at your local hardware store. You can go down and build a house with this exact same material. And that's one of the major differences. That's a stigma again, that people think that what's inside of this is inferior. The facts are the walls, the trim, the countertops, and the appliances. So you have top of the line appliances. You've got solid wood cabinets, soft close cabinet doors. So a lot of the upgrades that people will have in site-built housing, we have in manufactured housing now. And then it's affordable. So what if I build a home with a 2x4, that's lumber, right? And I build this with a 2x4, that 2x4 does not know which one it's inside of. It's serving the exact same purpose. Countertops, so if the material that's used to build this is the same as any site-built house, there really is no difference, other than the fact that it was built in a controlled environment and it's going to travel, right? Because ultimately, that's the difference in our product. Controlled environment where it's built on an assembly line and it's brought pre-built, right? And then all we do is where we put the house together, we do all the finish work. And it's amazing, this house pulled in here just like this other than decorated. We didn't do anything, just pulled it in here and set the two halves together. And tell me if a site-built home can do that and stay together. I don't know. I don't see many of them moving, but if they did, can it?
Fact: manufactured homes can be made with the same standard building materials as site-built homes. However, these homes are more affordable because of efficiencies in the factory building process and not because of cheaper materials. Like other assembly line operations, manufactured home builders can negotiate substantial savings by purchasing large quantities of the home's components and then passing the savings on to the home buyer.
So back to the square footage on the home, you know, 2,300 square feet. That equates to most site-built homes. People understand square footage, and when they buy a home, they typically are looking at it by the square foot. And our product can be looked at the same way, but it doesn't have to. Meaning, if you put this house on a private piece of property, then you ultimately have spent less if you're not buying land also. So the square footage price drops. And again, back to affordable. That's what this is all about. Being able to afford a luxury home, but at an affordable price. The wow factor is very common. We hear it all the time. Customers come in and we hear, I had no idea. I had no idea. I had no idea that the housing had changed this much and that we had moved into a new modern time with our product. And we're happy to be able to do that. We're happy to be able to provide something that used to be out of the reach of the common person, you know? Right. So now, here we are, beautiful house, affordable, and it's meant to last a lifetime.
Thank you so much for showing us these beautiful homes.
Well, thanks for coming out and walking around with me and putting up with me. We're glad that you got to come and see what the new look of manufactured housing is.
So how can people get in touch with you and reach out to your business?
Well, we've got a website, of course. mobilehomecenter.ms is one great way. Everybody's using the internet. So right. You can go shopping on there. You can take a tour of homes right online. Literally can walk through homes online. Or give us a call, 251-649-2077. We're located at 7251 Moffett Road.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
As you can see, manufactured housing has really come a long way. But don't take our word for it. Come to Regional Homes and see for yourself. I'm Summer Gallup, and this has been a Seymour story.
You could stop by Mobile Regional Homes, located at 7251 Moffett Road in Mobile, and meet with Sean to see these models for yourself. Or visit regionalhomesmobile.com to find a home, view a home buyer's guide, or pre-qualify for a purchase.
Before our next story, let's take a look at a few things that make Semmes, Alabama great. Riley Dunham has the bite, buy, and brag.
Thanks, guys. It is time for the Bite, Buy, and Brag, a portion of our show where we will update you on the untold greatness that this city has to offer. We will give you a dining option to consider, a purchase worth making, and an encouraging word from the highlighted community, and in this case, it's Semmes, Alabama. Let's start with the Bite at the Semmes House of Pizza. This community favorite provides an authentic yet casual atmosphere with many Italian dishes to try. Some of their standout items are the manicotti and meatballs, wilted spinach salad, and a top-notch cheeseburger. While these are some of our go-to items, there are many pizza flavors to experience as well, such as the Caramella, the Bronx, and the Manhattan. They have typical pizza sizes, but can go as big as 28 inches. Be sure to visit Semmes House of Pizza any day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 3958 Snow Road. Once your stomach is filled up, step next door and experience our recommended buy, Tillman's Barbershop. Tillman's will give you a professional grade service with a hometown feel. Not only will you get a clean look for a reasonable price, but it comes with a personal touch. Some of our team members frequent this barbershop and are known by name. Stop by Tillman's Barbershop, which is also at 3958 Snow Road, and see why they are a cut above. And finally, the brag of this episode. Our team investigates what the community is saying to provide you with the untold good of this community. Check out this heartwarming story from Semmes. Heather and Semmes shared this on Facebook. Shout out to the ice cream truck man that made a special trip to our house off of Old Moffett Road tonight because we only have our grandbabies on Friday nights. He is awesome and we really appreciate it. We investigated further to learn that this kind-hearted ice cream man is named John and is well known in the area. Heather is new to the community and was thrilled about the special trip made just for her grandchildren to have new experiences. So, we want to say thank you to Mr. John for going above and beyond to enhance your community. My name is Riley Dunham, and this has been Bite, Buy, and Brag for Semmes.
Thanks, Riley. If you have food or services you would like for us to check out or something to brag about in your community, please message us on Facebook at Watch Seymour.
We are going to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more stories.
Are you a business owner or organization with a story to tell? Would you like your story told in a unique way? Then Seymour is your answer. Contact us through our website, seymourstories.com, and let us partner with you. It's time to see more of our community, our people, our students, our stories. Seymour Stories.
Tonight, the Federal Reserve announcing rare emergency action to calm financial fears.
Just a disturbing, a violent day.
A shooting at one middle school, allegations of bullying at another.
2 homicide investigations underway in just the past 24 hours.
COVID-19 is ruining families.
Crews on the scene of a 2-alarm fire at a supermarket.
And with at least 10 million Americans out of work applying for unemployment.
The state of our city is unacceptable.
Why does this need to be the news when community can look so different? These headlines don't have to be our history. Seymour believes the narrative can be changed, and this change can be ushered in by students. They are the future generation and already a pivotal part of our community. With Seymour, you advocate for hope and a thriving tomorrow. You advocate for unity to be emphasized in true community. You advocate for stories that will define our history. Seymour, making an impact one community at a time. See more, hear more.
Have you ever thought about the words growth and development? For either of these words to take place, there has to be a starting point, and every community has many starting points.
A church in the Semmes community approached Seymour to help promote a historic date, and this was not just in their history, but for the community as a whole, as they celebrated 150 years of growth and development.
We love hearing how individuals, businesses, and organizations are taking steps toward a better future for their community. And one thing that always impresses our team is longevity. In our time of focusing on the city of Semmes, Alabama, we connected with a church that has deep roots in the community and has stood the test of time. Recently, Semmes First Baptist Church celebrated 150 years of impact within the city of Semmes. 150 years is impressive for any organization, so we had to take the opportunity to listen to some of its members and take a glimpse into the endurance and the legacy of Semmes First Baptist Church. Our story begins with Pastor Eric Sexton. Eric and his family are new to the Semmes community. Having moved from North Alabama, Pastor Eric says he is honored to serve this historic church.
I have a 16-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter, and moving to a new city, a new community was scary and hard, but I really credit God's grace and this church in making that move so much easier.
The church began in the early 1800s as Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. In the beginning, the church met in the log cabin schoolhouse for many years, and as the population of Semmes grew, so did the membership. Over time, the church would gather in many locations in order to accommodate the people, including a local barn. Thomas Jefferson Howell, a local lumber baron, saw the need for a new school and a new church building in Semmes. So he donated 1 acre of land with the stipulation that half would be for the new school and the other half for the church. This land was located near the railroad at the center of town. The church was renamed in 1904 to Semmes First Baptist. Then in 1930, the church moved once again to their present location on Wolf Road in Semmes. Today, you can visit Semmes Heritage Park, located across from Semmes First Baptist Church, and you will find Malone Chapel.
This is a replica of Mount Pleasant that was the mother church for Semmes First Baptist.
The facility has electricity, modern restrooms, and both central heating and air. It resides on the land provided by Thomas Howell and contains the original belfry which tolled from the steeple of Mount Pleasant. Meet Mrs. Carolyn Owens. She is a member of the Semmes Historical Society and a member of Semmes First Baptist Church. Mrs. Owens was such a delight. She was a tremendous help in providing the history of the church.
Yes, the history says that the men would come to church, and then that's the way they didn't have, of course they didn't have phones to call everybody, so they would ring the bell and people would know that that's time to come to church, so they would come to church then.
Mrs. Owens shared detailed insight into the community, as well as the importance of the church. She was a huge help by arranging many interviews with people from within the congregation. Many members spoke of activities and characteristics which not only developed the community in the 4 walls of the church, but also within Semmes as a whole.
I would say that one of the big things, at least growing up when I was younger, was VBS. So, and I know since the COVID pandemic we've had, that's had it's been a kilter on things, so we haven't been able to do that to the fullest extent, but it was so, you had all these different children from all over the community coming in, and they were hearing about God, they were hearing people pray, and they were being around children that went to this church, and so you start building relationships, and it was just great. So that was a big one. Yeah.
Some of those years we've had magnificent drama productions.
I can see it right now, vision, the Christmas tree. That what was the name of that show?
Living Christmas Tree.
The Living Christmas Tree. I can see it just as clear as a bell right there. A beautiful living Christmas tree with everybody doing the Christmas songs and the Christmas singing, and I happened to narrate the program that year, so that made it even more special.
We service families for kids from 6 weeks old all the way up to 5th grade because we have a before and after school care that services both Semmes and Allentown Elementary. And daycare is tough to find right now. So we're able to stay open through the COVID situation and to be able to, minister to the families, not only with childcare, but also meeting the needs that they have as well. I see it more of a ministry than a business. Of course it is a business because, we're offering a service, but at the same time, this is a mission field right here on this campus. We have over 100 families at any given, many are unchurched. And so it's a place where the church can come in and minister to these families. It's like I said the other night while I was talking to the congregation that, Jesus met needs first and then he preached to, his followers. And that's, I see that as being something this church can do.
The stories recounted with our team revealed the impact of being a part of the church. When asked what makes Semmes First Baptist unique, the answer we received was unanimous.
The people, when we came in, they just made us feel so welcome.
People are the sweetest.
There's not a time of the day that we couldn't call on some of our friends and, our friends in this church, though they would be there.
The genuineness of people, and it's like a family.
But it feels like a family.
This is a church that's going to love you, it's going to love your family, it's going to point you to Jesus, and it's going to be there when you need Him. We are a family. We're part of the family of God.
When we return, we will discuss 2 moments in the church's history that brought unity and strength. Plus, you'll hear the heartbeat behind the future of Semmes First Baptist. Stick around and see more.
Portions of Seymour Stories are filmed on location at our Seymour studio, located in Mobile, Alabama.
My name is Emily Miners, and my experience with Seymour has been eye-opening. I've learned so many new things and met so many amazing people, and I wouldn't change my experience with Seymour for anything. If you would like to tell stories that matter, visit SeymourStories.com and apply today. Gain experience, tell stories, and Seymour.
It's a local gym, locally owned.
Get fit, lose weight, whatever your goals are, you can meet those goals here.
People don't realize they come in and they feel like everybody's watching them, and they're not. People love seeing people like that come in and start making a difference. It encourages everybody. Join the gym as soon as you can and just make yourself go for 30 days, and it's a habit after that.
You got to start somewhere.
Southern Fitness is located at 9070 Moffett Road. For more information, call 251-645-7455 or visit our website, getfitinsemmes.com. That's getfitinsemmes.com.
To the membership of Semmes First Baptist Church, they identify as a place where you are loved and where people matter. I must say that our team was greeted by warmth and smiles from every individual we spoke with. But while discussing moments of impact, there were two specific instances that were defining moments for the congregation. The first instance takes place back on March 1st, 1995 at 1:23 a.m. as the city of Semmes deployed 23 firefighters and 4 fire trucks to respond to the report of a church fire.
I guess the night, when we heard it, was like, kind of like you said, it's kind of shock, a little bit, because we heard it and it's like, what? The church, how did that happen? First, how did it happen? When did it happen?
It was kind of disappointing that happened to begin with, and just to go through that, but also, things like that bring you closer as well. So it was pretty unique. We had to have mobile homes moved in for Sunday school classes and all that, or meeting under shade trees and all, but it was pretty cool. It's like camping out. So, it was a bad thing, but we did grow from it as a church family.
The second circumstance that grabbed our attention involved Pastor Alban Gaston, who led the church for many years. Several members spoke of his leadership and influence.
Brother Alban was amazing. He was a great guy. He would come in and he just had this way about him. He always stayed calm. He, when he was, something like bad was going on, there was a situation to be handled. I'm more of the hot-headed type, and he was the more, okay, let's take a minute. Let's pray about it. And I'd be like, okay, we're gonna pray about it. And we'd pray about it and we get through it, and he's like, all right, now, what do you think? And I'm like, it's not a hill that I wanna die on. He's like, exactly. But he just had a way, and he was such a blessing to have at the church.
However, struggle would come as Pastor Gaston suffered an aneurysm.
The night we got the call, I was at the Bethlehem Project with my family, and I got the call that, it was bad and that he wasn't gonna make it through the night. And I left, and I went to that hospital, and I remember walking in and seeing so many members of this congregation just devastated. And they all stood there together, and they welcomed me in just like I was a member of their congregation.
He was at Mobile Infirmary, so there was a group of us in the emergency room, and we were in a circle praying and all. Then the doctor came down and said, he's basically brain dead. He won't live through the night.
And we all held hands, and we stood there, and we prayed over Brother Alban together, and he made it.
We witnessed a miracle there. So they did surgery. He is able to drive and function today, and actually is preaching
Still gives me
at
chill
different
bumps.
churches. So they gave him no hope. Said he was brain dead, but he's a miracle.
And even though he's not been able to return to ministry full-time, he was healed. And I remember that moment being so amazing to see those people, those men and women, come together as one and just hold hands. And there were so many of them, and just standing in that waiting room of that hospital, holding hands, lifting him up. That was just amazing to me.
Whether it was a trial by fire or trials related to health, the church has stood strong and has continued to press forward.
Our church isn't perfect, and we've had our challenges throughout the years, as all churches do, but how our church has responded through so many challenging times has been very encouraging to me. There are people who could have very easily left and gone somewhere else in our history, but they've stayed because this is where God called them. And they knew that God called them here in the good times and in the bad, and so they've remained faithful, and that faithful spirit has challenged me, because I know I'm going to have hard times. I know there are going to be times when maybe I want to run away, but I know this is where God has called me. And so I want to be faithful, because I believe when we're faithful to what God has called us to do, that's when He does some of His greatest things.
The church remains hopeful of a bright future, and they view the landmark of 150 years as a major milestone. As we closed out our meeting with some of the members, we asked them about their hopes for the future of the church.
My prayer is revival.
That we would grow in more faith and more spirit would descend on this church like it did Pentecost, and that we would just be filled with the Holy Spirit where we would want to serve Him more.
And I'd like for this church to finally be what it should be, the cornerstone of this community. I mean, this church should be busting out the walls, you know.
My prayer is to continue to do outreach, because the most important thing is, you know, God don't want anybody left behind. So I think that's the main purpose of the church. The outreach of the church is to win the lost. So I think that is my prayer, the most important thing.
So we're just excited what God has done, but we also look forward to what He's going to do, because I believe that our best days are in front of us.
The church celebrated their 150th anniversary on August 27th, 2022. The event was recognized by the community, and the church was deemed a historical landmark by the state of Alabama. If you would like to learn more about Semmes First Baptist Church, you can find them on Facebook, stream their sermons on YouTube, or simply stop in on a Sunday morning. They're sure to welcome you, and they have a seat for you to fill. I'm Michaela Johnson, and this has been a Seymour story. It was so great to meet with Eric Sexton, as well as meet one-on-one with many of the members. They were proud of this birthday celebration, but also to be involved in the community of Semmes.
And I love the touch of history that they offer. Was there a particular moment that resonated to you when you interviewed?
I would have to say it was getting to interview these generations of families where their children grew up and then their children's children grew up in the church. It was awesome. Also, that was the day that we first met, the first day that you were with Seymour Stories.
Right. I learned so much that one day, and look where we are now.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode and learned something new.
As the credits roll, we want to take a moment to look at what is coming soon to our community. Let's take a look at the calendar and hear what leaders in Seymour have to say. Guys?
Thanks. Here are a few special events happening in downtown Mobile to end 2022 and kick off 2023. Don't have plans for New Year's Eve? We'll make them now. Plan on attending Moon Pie over Mobile. The event starts at 11 a.m. and runs through midnight. Special music guests include Levon Gray and Gray Area 51, the Red Clay Strays, and headlining act Third Eye Blind. For more information and the complete schedule of events, visit moonpieovermobile.com.
Once the new year has started, why not join in on Kids Day, hosted by the City of Mobile's Parks and Recreation. Kids Day is a quarterly event that is just for the kids. Each event is different and fun for all ages. The first Kids Day of 2023 takes place on Saturday, January 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The theme? Rev your engines and get ready to go. Bring your Power Wheels for the race of a lifetime. This is a free event that is fun for little racers, spectators, and everyone involved. Race against other kids in different age groups while also enjoying music, bounce houses, and more. All taking place at Tremere Park, 3600 Alba Club Road.
Go ahead and mark your calendars now for the City of Mobile's lighting of the Mardi Gras tree on January 14th at Mardi Gras Park from 5:30 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. Following the tree lighting, a parade will head over to Cooper Riverside Park with the Jukebox Brass Band.
And staying in the theme of Mardi Gras, do you think you have the best king cake on the Gulf Coast? Then prove it. Be sure to attend the 2023 King Cake Off competition on Friday, January 27th at the Expo Hall of the Mobile Civic Center. Whether paying to enter the competition or simply paying the entry fee, you're making a sweet impact by supporting the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization of South Alabama. The event lasts from 5 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. Costs for vendors, submissions, and tickets can be found at kingcakeoff.com. Now, back to you guys.
Thanks for letting us know what's happening. If you have an event you would like promoted in this part of our show, please message us on Facebook at Watch Seymour.
Speaking of social media, make sure you follow us on Facebook and on YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications so you can always see more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. All right, you're going up to
Please like and subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications so you can see more.